Hello and welcome to another Project Falcon Punch Top 5 guest list. I am your host, Dan. This time it's for 2019, actually, I should say that. With me today is Andrew Borman. Say hello.
Hello, hello.
It's been a long time coming, this one, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems like we try to do it every year, and we've done it twice.
So how have you been, actually? I should go straight into it then, since I know we've spoken about sort of a few months ago, but on this channel at least it's been about 3 years, so a lot has changed in your life in the last 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's been busy. New jobs, larger family, a new city. It's been crazy.
Yeah. What about 2019 as a whole for you?
2019 was good. Lack of sleep due to my daughter being born was a thing. But other than that, you know, moving ahead at my job, so that's been going well. I don't collect quite as much as I used to, so that's been nice in a lot of ways.
Yeah, do you find it as you get older, you collecting less because you have less time, less money, and less sort of disposable income as you get older?
And at my job, I mean, we have thousands of games, so why do I need thousands of games at home at this point?
That's a very good point. Yeah, of course you do. Yeah. How has games been for you in the year as well?
I would say that I've probably played the least amount of games ever, basically, for me. But I think I finished a lot of the ones that I really liked. Quality-wise, much higher quality list than I sometimes have.
That's good to know. So do you want to go straight in with your number 5 then?
Sure, and of course, some of these will be controversial as we go into it, but that's okay too.
Oh yeah, you said that before we started recording. I think you messaged me saying that some being controversial, so I'm really interested to see how the controversial these are, actually.
Most of them will be okay. So number 5 is actually probably the only one on my list that I haven't completely finished yet, and that's Outer Wilds.
I think I've seen you tweet about this before, and I've played it myself. It's a game that it takes a while at least to get into, right? I don't know what it's like for you.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a time loop game. So like at first you're like, okay, what is going on? But then you get a little bit further every time you get into it. And there's something about it, just the small planets that are in the game, the flying, then all the little mysteries that are out there for you to solve. It was a really refreshing game from what I've played.
I know a lot of people have been singing its praises. It's a bespoke game. It's not like randomly generated or anything like that. The whole idea is you die and you restart, sort of a bit of a roguelite element to it.
Yeah, and there's just so many little things throughout the world that really no other game is doing. Whether it's the radio messages that you can find, you're discovering, I think this isn't too big of a spoiler, just discovering other civilizations. What does that actually mean? What are they? And it's just really fascinating because you can tell it's not this huge, ginormous game where it's going to take you 1,000 hours to find everything, but what's there is so good. Really a special game, in my opinion.
It's a game that I've not got deep into, but you say you've not actually finished it yet?
No, I haven't. Just time-wise, it hasn't worked out. But I think it's coming out on Switch, which should help eventually.
Yeah, I think you're right there, yeah. I wonder how that'll run, because I played it on the Xbox. I'm guessing you played it on PC.
No, actually, I played it Xbox One X. That's where I do most of the larger games at this point, just because it's convenient.
Yeah, sure.
I think it'll do fine, because the graphics aren't, like, crazy special or anything.
True.
They're kind of in that, I don't want to say Sea of Thieves, because I think it's more simple than even that. Not high-resolution textures, but the art is just good.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Andrew, what is your number 4?
Number 4 would be Kingdom Hearts 3.
I know that you're like a Kingdom Hearts fan. So remember when you spoke about Final Fantasy 15, you were like talking about Kingdom Hearts 3 and how you were looking forward to that one.
Yeah, and honestly, I have little idea of what the heck goes on in the game at this point. But again, it's one of those things, I'm a big Disney fan, so I like all the Disney worlds, even though it feels a bit like a retread sometimes. I think the biggest problem with it is it's been such a long time since we got a main series. Even if you go back to PSP, that game is like 10 years old now.
I believe the last one was the one on 3DS, right? The Dream Drop Distance was like...
Yeah, and that was my least favorite, I think, other than like Recoded, which was whatever. But even 3DS one was good.
That was my introduction to the series, actually, was the 3DS one. It didn't grab me necessarily. I've played a bit of the third one, but I've not. I need to play more of it. It's one of those games where I started, got distracted, and haven't gone back to it yet. Yeah, like, what's your favourite world out of the ones that are there?
I really like the Toy Story world. I'm not the biggest fan of the robot things that go on there, but the world itself is so amazing. The voice actors are close enough most of the time, so that helps with the immersion. Especially, I think it's Tom Hanks' brother does Woody. And just seeing that world come to life, you know, there's been Toy Story games in the past, but most of them have been not great.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I'm a massive Toy Story fan, and like that Toy Story section was the reason why I bought this game. Because it encapsulates like a lot of what Toy Story is, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, it's just one of those games where if you've been playing the series series for so long, you just have to play it. I think for you, having not been into it for so long, it's different. But like I can remember going back. Oh, it's probably I'm trying to do math of years in my head. 2003ish it came out. 2002 the first one. So it was a while ago.
Good 18 years, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. So nice to have some sort of almost conclusion to Sora's story.
Was it satisfying for you in the end?
Mostly, but of course they have to tease something else going on. I haven't played any of the DLC. I don't know if I will right away. I'd rather wait at this point. Same reason I never went back to Final Fantasy 15. But I was satisfied with what was there. Not perfect by any means, and I could see why people wouldn't like it, but it was just fun.
Okay, what's your number 3 then?
And that's where the next game comes in, which will probably be the most controversial choice, and it's Mario Kart Tour.
Whoa, that is very controversial. I know you actually, now you mention it, I know we're friends actually on that game, and I noticed that you do play it quite a lot, because I know that it's every week your score go on there, and I think, damn, your fucking score is ridiculous.
And meanwhile, I'm getting creamed by other players at this point. So my thing with Mario Kart Tour is, like, I just love the Mario Kart series, first of all. But it's not a whole lot of fun to play by myself, especially the Switch version. Like, there's nothing to really unlock that's worthwhile. Online is whatever for me. So having something on the go is good. Again, flawed, especially with the microtransactions. I don't agree with that stuff, but it is what it is. But what I like is it's kind of like Project Gotham Racing in the sense that there's more to the racing than winning, and that's something that keeps me coming back to it.
Each racetrack, even if you're playing the same tracks, they've got like different pathways and stuff, and like different ramps and jumps and stuff, because like you say, the combo system keeps actually the racing itself sort of interesting.
Right. I've been doing a lot of the ranked races, which again I just mentioned that I'm getting killed at them now. So that's becoming less fun as I go along. But just because I can continually improve my score, that is a lot of fun to me, especially as somebody who grew up playing in arcades and all that. It's just very satisfying, especially for a mobile game that I can pick up and play anytime, not even worrying about my Switch. Now, I would say Mario Kart 8 plays way better.
Of course.
But this game just has so much to do, at least for the first week or so of every set of tours.
Yeah, I mean, have you got like the pass at all?
I've done the gold pass, but only because I get a lot of like the Google Play rewards things, or like the survey things, and I don't know if you have them over there, but basically Google gets my personal information and they give me a few cents here and there. Throughout the course of the month I get like $5, so that just pays for it.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice, because I will admit I do play it, but yeah, like obviously it has its problems, the gacha stuff and whatnot, but yeah,
it's fun.
I can't deny that.
Number 2 is definitely less controversial. Cadence of Hyrule.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love the soundtrack for this game. It's so good.
Now, I know you weren't the biggest fan of the game.
That's very true.
So, I like roguelike games. This one is a very easy one by many regards, or in many regards. I didn't really like Crypt of the Necrodancer a lot, just because that one is less forgiving. I still play it a lot, but comparatively, Cadence of Hyrule, you know, it's Zelda, mostly 2D. I love the music, like you mentioned. I like the timing system. And since I play a lot of Link to the Past randomizer, this is a nice compromise. If I need something quick to play, I would still kind of rather play Link to the Past, but...
Yeah, same. I mean, because the thing with me is that, like, the beat mechanic, like, having to do everything in time with the beat, at first I was like, oh, I don't like this. I know you can turn it off, so I turned it off. But then I think it just kind of kills the whole idea of the game, because that's why I don't think I liked it. Because I've actually gone back since and played it with the beat, and I've really sort of pushed myself to enjoy it. And I'm enjoying it a lot more, to be honest, like, knowing that that's probably the way to play that game, honestly.
Yeah, and it was hard to get into. Something about the beats never felt quite right in that first, like, 30 minutes that I played. But once it clicked, I mean, I was off to the races. I've probably beaten it 3 or 4 times, which is nothing compared to some people. But for somebody who doesn't have a lot of time.
Yeah, there's another game as well on here that I just, there's a lot of people that love this game. Even if it didn't grab me completely. But yeah. All right, Andrew, what is your favourite game of 2019 then?
And so this one is definitely not controversial. I've seen it on many people's list, and it's Control.
Right. This is the one game on your list actually I've not played.
Really? I'm surprised.
Yeah, but I know how good it's supposed to be. One of those games I just need to get around fan. I've just not got around to playing it yet. But yeah, like, go and tell me how much you love Control.
First of all, I'm just a big fan of Remedy Entertainment, going back to Max Payne days, Alan Wake. I like Quantum Break. I know a lot of people didn't. It was a bit cheesy with the live action, but it was the right type of cheesy for me. So Control, though, is in many ways more serious, but it builds on what was going on in Alan Wake in more ways than one if you get into it. And just the world, again, just the way that the old house transforms. Gunplay is pretty good. It's standard kind of Remedy, good enough to pass. But the way that the story comes together, it's just a great game.
I've heard like the story is really trippy as well, actually.
It is, but if you've played Alan Wake, Quantum Break, trippy in a way that is easy to understand and definitely feels a bit familiar if you've played the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, even at a glance, it looks very similar, like in terms of its look to Quantum Break.
Oh yeah, it's clearly building on the same technology. You can tell that they didn't quite have the same higher budget that they were afforded before under Microsoft. But I think in many ways the game is better for it. It really, I think, caused them to focus in on, all right, what was best about Alan Wake, what was best about Quantum Break, and make a package that is just really well-rounded. Everybody talks about one of the last missions of the game, so I won't spoil it if you haven't seen it. That moment really just brings things together and drives you to the end of the game in a way that is similar to one of the moments in Alan Wake, but I think was way more effective, and I think that's the story for this game. It's just everything that Remedy is good at, but done in a way that is streamlined and just the best that they've made.
Again, I just need to get to play this game because, it does sound pretty amazing. But Andrew, thank you once again for joining me on this. Where can people find you around on Twitter and YouTube? Because, of course, I didn't actually mention, but your main YouTube channel being PtoPOnline.
Yep, so PtoPOnline is still there. I don't update it as frequently as I used to, but otherwise on Twitter at Borman18. That's the best way to find me because I tweet out all sorts of cool stuff.
Any videos specifically you want to plug? Put in the end slate?
Nothing in particular. Okay. Working on some stuff, but they're not ready yet.
Okay, until maybe next year, or if not in another 3 years, we'll see.
Exactly. We'll do this one way or another.
Definitely.
You stopped it.